Notre Dame to come in. Let me remind you to silence your cell phones as a courtesy to your fellow media members and to the coaches and players. Please provide your name and media affiliation each time you ask a question, and we ask that you ask one question at a time. We're going to try to get as many of you in as we can, but you know, link sometimes gets extended. So try to get one question at a time, and we'll get as many of you as we can under the short period of time we have. And a reminder, please no recording of the press conference video on your cell phones. That is prohibited. And same pattern as always. We'll start with a comment from the coach and then take questions for a short time for the student athletes, and then let them go, then have the coach for a few minutes still. Remind you, please remove your hats for us, please. Once again, for those of you coming late, please turn off your cell phones, name and affiliation, no video. Link, give us an overview, please.
Yeah, they outplayed us in essentially every phase of the game. I thought Horton was outstanding. When you have mid-90s, you have a good slider, you have a curveball, and he flashed his change periodically. I mean, that was a lot. Clearly, we didn't recognize it. I thought he did just a phenomenal job. I thought he mixed very well. And when you have that assortment of pitches to deal with, it's difficult, and clearly it was. Godman, they had the matchup they wanted to allow him to throw that inning. He did a nice job, and Michael is similar to Horton, I think. Maybe not quite the fastball, but really the good little breaking ball, and then a slider and a change that he uses well. And we threaten a little bit, but ultimately their ability to punch us out, our inability and their ability to manage their two-strike hitting, to me, was the difference. So it seemed like it was constant pressure, and the reason is they commanded the strike zone a little bit better from the mound and at the plate. Their hitters did a nice job. They used all phases of their game. They ran bases. We knew this was something that was in play for them. They're good at it. You know, the bunt. Again, we had planned for it a little bit. They executed it, and clearly they played a really complete game. Our relievers, you know, you get in that spot where Temple clearly didn't appear to have it. Could he have found it? It just seemed like that was a time not to try to figure that out. We need to have Tyrell involved in this thing, and he got out of it. And our relievers, if I'm not mistaken, all got the guy they came in to face, and nobody could really settle and consistently string sequences together to limit them. We didn't finish them off. And again, to their credit, they really fought through some at-bats and had some big two-strike at-bats up and down the lineup. They played a really, really nice game. You know, Dave's home run was a big boost for us. We needed it, and Carter had competitive at-bats all day. It just wasn't consistent enough, but at the end of the day, when you strike out 14 times, you're not forcing them into enough, and they beat us.
Okay, we're going to have questions for the student athletes now, so raise your hand and we'll get to you real quick. Mark?
Mark Garland, CWS 247. Carter and David, it's been almost 2 months since you guys have lost back-to-back games. How, as players, do you guys flush it and get ready for that next one?
Carter, you start, please.
I think you just have to take it one game at a time. I think that group, or this group, is really good at that, realizing, you know, the importance of all these games late in the year. And so, you know, we're a pretty mature group, and I know that, you know, the off day tomorrow will give us time to, you know, get rid of or get over it, and then focus on the next task at hand, which is Texas A&M.
David?
I mean, we preach going 1-0 every single day. So you kind of sit on this one, and when we come out on Tuesday, try to go 1-0 there.
Okay, next question. Okay, can't see.
Jordan McAlpin with the Omaha World Herald. For either one of you guys, what was difficult about going up against Horton?
For me, I mean, he had a good fastball, and he didn't seem to be throwing it a lot. He was living with his off-speed stuff. Slider was tough to pick up, and I mean, he did a good job. He had a good fastball and good secondary stuff, and he was in the zone the whole day.
Yeah, pretty much same thing. He kept all of us kind of off balance with the curveball and the slider, and so you know, trying to pick up the different pitches was a little challenging for us today, and so tip the cap to him.
Okay, next question. Right here. Tyler?
Tyler Horka, Blue and Gold Illustrated. For either of you guys, just based on everything that you've been through the last couple of years, and especially the super regional at Tennessee, do you feel like this group of guys is equipped to take a punch like that and punch back in an elimination game against another really good team on Tuesday?
David, start.
Yeah, I think we're equipped to do it. We just have to go out there and we have to play our game and execute all three phases of the game and better than we did today.
Carter?
Yeah, like Dave said earlier, we just try and go 1-0 each and every day, and I think this team is capable of as long as we play our game, we can go out and compete with anyone. So just try and go 1-0 and play our baseball.
Okay. Any more questions for the student athletes? Okay, guys, that'll do it. As a reminder, the locker rooms are closed to all media at all times, but you can work with their team SID. Matt will handle any other questions you might need, so y'all can go. Thank you. As an aside, you will be the home team Tuesday. You will be the home team Tuesday. So, okay, questions for Link. Starting right over here.
Tim Priester from Irish Illustrated. Link, you had Finley warming up early. Just what were you thinking that, maybe you turn this into like a starting assignment for him at that stage?
Tim, that was interesting. You're managing the game and you're wanting to keep it in striking distance, and it just didn't feel good. Like Temple didn't have it, and as we got a little deeper in the lineup, the thought was maybe Terrell can go in there against the guys it looked like he was going to see, versus in the first inning, if it had gotten really messy, maybe in the middle more, we might have felt like, let's just use Finley and try to get out of this and let him extend. That was our thinking. But once we felt like it was good for Terrell to face the guys and get out of that and then extend, that's why they were both going early. And that's not what you're hoping you're thinking in the first inning, but we were, and Finley has been good coming in and handling some traffic lately like he did in the regional, and that hadn't been Aiden's forte lately. So we were trying to get one in a position maybe to navigate not as much of a stressful situation, to then flip it and come out clean and really essentially turn it into a start. And Aiden just wasn't quite sharp. He got the pop up in the comebacker, and you're like, all right, here we go. Now we can settle in, and this should settle the game for us. And it wasn't. And they battled. They had some tough 2-strike hits, and they weren't damaging us a lot, but the damage was putting it in play and repetitive quality at bats, and we just couldn't finish them off. They did a great job with it.
Okay, next question. Okay, here.
Sean Steyer's Irish Breakdown. Just what you kind of finished with right there, did it sort of feel like you were watching a mirror image of what you typically see from your guys?
Yes, yes, it is. That's, you saw a little bit of it Friday. That ability they had to finish us didn't give us enough opportunities to truly threaten them. When you punch out 14 times, you're forcing them to record 13 outs in the field. And if it's not in play, there's no chance that little thing falls in or that ground ball works through there. And that's clearly what they did, and that pendulum swung in their favor, in essence, to me, because of that. And they got the bunt down, and you just have to record an out on that. Like, it was set up almost to have a chance at the plate, and he didn't think he did, and that's poor execution that led to more when you hope you're really expecting that play. So they did a very good job of doing some of the things that you have obviously seen us do. But, the punch outs, if I say it again, I would have probably said it 100 times, but to me that was the difference, in just their management of finishing our hitters was better than ours to them.
John?
John Bryce, Irish Sports Daily. Link. You got Finley up early, but you ended up not going to him. Yeah. So Tuesday, is it Liam with Alex and Finley also available?
Yeah, they're all available. Now, who makes the most sense to start? I don't know that just yet. Finley has clearly started games. He's been so good out of the pen. We definitely have options, and the way this is formatted, it gives guys really a chance to freshen up out of the pen. So I think we're okay down there, and some of the guys that threw today would probably be able to help us, including Temple. So Chuck and I will get back and think this through, and we've started a little bit on Texas A&M, but your full focus is really trying to handle the game in front of you and then deal with the next one. So we'll dive into that. We have options. the execution has to be better than it was today, regardless of who we decide to run out there.
Okay, this will be our last question for Travis.
Travis Brown, Bryan, College Station Eagle. Coach, what do you know of A&M, and how do you feel like the two teams match up?
I don't know a whole lot about them just yet. This is a lot when you're getting ready for the one game. Again, we put our focus more on that. So we haven't studied a ton. Now we have what we need. Now it's just a matter of constructing it and diving in. So I haven't gotten that deep onto them. That'll be obviously tonight and like all day tomorrow to try to figure out how to manage them. Clearly they wouldn't be here if they weren't more than capable of playing well. So it'll be a big College World Series game.
Yep. Link, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see you Tuesday.
I can take this, right?
Yeah. Reminder, please silence your cell phones if you're just coming in. No video from your.
Gets hit the other day and breaks his hand. He comes in. I think our kids were more excited for those two guys than they were winning the game. And that's the culture of our team. They care for each other so much, and I'm really proud of them. Hats off to Notre Dame. I mean, they had a really good club. Navigating through their lineup is tough. So it's here we are.
Okay. Questions for the student athletes first, and we'll start right up here. Yep.
Question for Cade.
Name and affiliation,
Yep,
remember.
hang on. Clear my throat here for a second. Question for Cade. John Hoover from All Sooners. The first pitch of the game, Blake goes into the dugout to catch a ball. You saw that happen last week as well at Virginia Tech. How much did that settle you down, if at all? And then the defense that began to be played behind him.
Yeah, I mean that was a spectacular play, and I feel like I'm honestly at this point starting to get spoiled by all these great catches. But no, that did settle me down and make me more comfortable. This defense behind me is incredible. Wally's always making plays. Tanner's making plays. KP, Blake tonight, PG. They all make great plays for me, and that makes it easy to challenge up the hitter. So.
Okay, right here. Oh, give it up. Aaron, right behind you.
Aaron Fitt, D1 Baseball. Cade, it looked like you had a lot of success with, well, I guess all your stuff tonight, but it looked like it was a slider and a curveball going. Just curious if you could kind of take us through the development of your arsenal as you've worked your way back from surgery this spring.
Yeah, that slider, I developed it Tuesday prior to the Big 12 championship game, and Ben Abram is the one that really helped me develop that, and he gave me the confidence to throw it in the game, and it's been working ever since.
Okay, over here.
Eddie Radosevich, Centerscoop.com. Tanner, just about your two-strike approach. It seems like you guys have been really hot and done really well swinging the bats with two strikes right now.
Yeah, that's kind of our motto. We want to battle for our team, especially with runners on and scoring position, stuff like that. A lot of us. I know I do choke up a little bit. Just try to keep it short, and at that point, that at bat's for your team. With two strikes, and that's what we try to do. Just try to put it in play, and I was able to do that today.
Wallace, you respond to?
Yeah, with two strikes, I obviously from both sides of the plate have a similar approach. The left side and right side choke up and just try and battle and fight for good pitches and just see one pitch at a time and then see where the ball goes and go from there.
Okay, we have a question from the Zoom. Please give your name and affiliation and ask your question, please.
Justin Martinez, and Wallace, you're one of the few freshmen on this team that's really had a big impact for you guys this year. I mean, just at what point did you kind of realize that this freshman class was going to be able to have the type of impact that you guys have had so far?
Yeah, I kind of knew whenever we got here in the fall and we all started doing the fall ball scrimmages and everything, and everyone was competing from day one, and everybody showed a lot of promise. And I just, from the very beginning, I knew that we had a special class in the making right now.
Hey, Jordan.
Jordan McAlpin at the Omaha World Herald. Wallace, that fifth inning there, walk me through that bunt and kind of what followed after.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously I got the bunt sign and got the sack bunt with the runner on third, went push side to the first base side and executed it, went in the right spot, and then just started running. I saw the ball get past the first baseman, I just took off, and a couple guys came across the plate, so yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, back to Zoom. Name and affiliation, please.
Hey guys, Jenny Carlson with the Oklahoman. Any and all players that would like to talk about this. One more game and you're playing in the championship series. Was there a point where you felt like this team did something, got to a point where that was a possibility, where you guys stand on, on the precipice of playing for a national championship?
Tanner, you start.
Yeah. No, I think we've always thought that, ever since we got started and got rolling in the Big 12 championship. I've said it before and I'll say it again is, our thing is we want to prove people wrong and make a statement. And, we were able to do that in regionals and supers and we want to do that here. And so yeah, I mean, to us, it's kind of an expectation to do well. And we're rolling right now and we're going to keep riding it.
Cade?
Yeah, to back up Tanner on that, I feel like, with our team, we're good at not looking ahead. We're good at staying in the moment and focusing on winning a pitch instead of, focusing on the bigger picture. We focus on the task at hand, and I think that's where a lot of our successes came from.
Boss?
Yeah, I would also agree with what those guys said. Winning the national championship's always been kind of the goal, and we've had that in mind from the very beginning, and it's not just a new idea. We've, even after like a loss in a midweek game in the front half of the season, we had talks with Skip and Reggie and everybody, and the idea behind it was, doesn't matter, we lost here, we're still going to go win the whole damn thing. So
okay.
Josh Calloway, allsinners.com. For Tanner, I asked you during the Big 12 tournament about the hot stretch you were on at the time. Well, we're a month later, and it's still going. Just put in perspective what this stretch has been like, second half of the season for you. I mean, batting average climbing toward 400. Just obviously everything's working for it to play. Just can you put in perspective what is going so well right now?
I really like to keep things simple. I'll get in patterns like this where I can, go on a long stretch and do pretty well. But I'm just trying to swing at good pitches, try not to get out of my zone. I think the two-strike approach has been really good for me, really key for me in the last couple weeks. I think that's helped me tremendously. But yeah, I'm just trying to hit good pitches and do my thing and be on time more than anything.
Okay, any more questions for the student athletes? Oh, yeah, we have one more. This will be the
Yeah, Parker Thune, 24/7 Sports. Well, I want to take you once again back to the squeeze play that turned into 2 runs and 3 bases for you. Do you view that type of play as emblematic of this team's approach as a whole, essentially just execute your job and wait for the opponent to blink?
Yeah, I do. We strive with, we emphasize kind of just executing and doing your job, and then once you do that, everything will kind of fall into place, and I was able to do that today.
Okay, guys, thank you. A reminder that the locker rooms are closed to all media members at all times, but if you have any other special requests, just check with Eric Collier. So he's the guy. Guys, you are excused.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Have fun. Thank you, man. Okay, questions for Skip, and we'll start here with Mike.
Mike LaPresti, NCAA.com. Skip, was tonight an example of where Oklahoma showed all phases of its game, of what got you here? And how important was it when you got to this stage that you remain yourselves, that you remain the team that...
Yeah, I mean, that's our identity, is to try to create as much chaos as we can on the offensive side. And our pitching's gotten a little bit better every time we went out. And I think our offense has really helped our pitching. It's kind of helped those guys just continue to attack, and our defense has gotten better. We talk about getting better weekly. What was the second question you asked?
How important it was that once you got here...
Yeah, I said it in the first press conference. I can remember Coach Greedo talking about the team that gets the most comfortable when they get here, they play good. And we've kind of played our 2 games real aggressive. I mean, it's like I said, I was real, we talked at the end, and Reggie said, really proud of those 2 kids Godman and what Sebastian Ordonez did. It was pretty incredible coming back. And I kept telling Godman he's got a really good arm. He's really talented. And I kept, hey, finish the race, man. Finish the race. Continue to grow. And pretty selfless to him to go out there and do what he did tonight.
You're back here.
Carly Murray, OU Nightly. Coach, tell me about the impact that Reggie Willits has had on your offense this postseason.
Well, I think it's got him. It's gave him identity. That's what I think Reggie's done. He's detail oriented, and the biggest thing from my standpoint is what they do is they keep attacking, and no matter the fear of getting out at times or whatnot, I think they just keep attacking, and that's the mindset. Because if you take the failure out of the game, it's always there, and if you attack and be aggressive and not worry about the failure, then that's what's really about. You give yourself a chance to succeed by trying to fail.
Okay, over here, Eddie.
Eddie Rodosevich, SoonerScoop.com. You talk about the aggression, and then obviously, what is it about being able to flush the 4th inning and making the outs over at 3rd? And you get but you live with that, though. Is that something that you can be happy with?
Yeah, I mean, that's the momentum of the game. We talk about Eddie a lot. I mean, it's. I thought it. I'm like, man, we just lost the momentum, put the momentum back on the other side. But you can take the momentum back with a guy like Cade Horton and what he did. That guy's got great electric stuff at times. He's gotten better every outing. Really proud of him. Continues to work our strength staff and our training staff to get him on the field, after the arm injury 15 months later. It just shows you what he's about. I mean, the guy works, and he wants to be great at what he does, and he'll continue to grow.
Okay, Jordan.
Jordan McAlpin with the Omaha World Herald. Skip, can you just talk about the quality of at-bats from your guys tonight?
Yeah, we talk about that a lot, is trying to separate balls from strikes and putting the ball in play and just trying to beat an infielder with 2 strikes. Just beat an infielder with 2 strikes, put the ball in play, make those guys play catch across the way, and they did a great job with it tonight. I mean, Notre Dame's a lot like us, and it's after watching film and studying through all that deal, you could see it, and we knew it going into it, and we made some plays and kept it going. Got some big two strike hits, 2 out hits. It was really fun to watch.
Okay, John.
Hey, Skip. John Hoover, All Sooners. We saw it last week. We saw it again this week. Guys attacking the baseball in the air, flipping, irregardless of safety. They're going into the dugout. They're going into the bullpen. When you've got athletes all over the field like that making plays, can you describe how that settles down your pitcher maybe and gives other guys confidence to do the same thing?
Yeah, they know that they're going to put whatever they had to do to make a play. What he did was incredible. I mean, it was it might not have settled Kay down, but it settled me down a little bit when he went over that deal and caught that ball because it was an important out. Every out is important. I mean, you got 27 of them, and they're all important. And the faster you can get them, the better it is, believe me.
Okay, let's go to Zoom. Please name and affiliation, please, and ask your question.
Hey, Skip. Eric Bailey with the Tulsa World. I wanted just to ask you, how refreshing is it just to hear those players talk about not looking big picture, sticking one pitch at a time, and just that buy-in, that commitment it takes to have that attitude and mentality?
Yeah, Eric, I mean, it's really refreshing because it's what we talk about an awful lot. And sometimes you sit as a coach, you think they listen or hear you. I don't know which one you're going to say, but you know, they really, with them guys regurgitating what we talk about, just winning pitches and just taking it one pitch at a time is really good. I mean, really, they're just going to play a good game of catch and play against the baseball. It's really not the opponent. We got to attack what we do and really do what the things that really make us better, like be aggressive on the bases, throw strike one, make plays, and execute our game plan.
Okay. Aaron.
Aaron Fitt, D1 coach. You talked about Cade's growth, you know, since he's come back. I'm curious if you could elaborate on that. Just what areas have you seen him maybe develop the most just over the past 6 weeks or so?
Well, Aaron, I think he's going to get better. I mean, I really don't know if he's ready yet, but I mean, his freshman fall was incredible. I mean, we're just throwing 2 innings a week, and he is also playing position, and it was. I said it to several people, one of the best freshman pitchers I've been around ever. And I can remember things that he did in that fall like it was yesterday. And then all of a sudden, you know, the adversity hits him, and he really started working. At first, it was tough on him, and we kept taking him. That was really good. It was early enough that we could take him on our trips, and then we started taking even our 30-man roster to conference games. That's what people don't understand. I mean, you limit. You have a 27-man roster, and you have a 30-man roster, and you have a guy that gets hurt, and you limit those guys from traveling with you. You don't really get to see around them. You don't really get to be around them. I mean, this game is built around relationships. The only reason I'm sitting in front of you guys today as a head coach at the University of Oklahoma is totally about relationships. And to see what that guy did and what he's done with our training staff, going in there and doing the work every day with our physical therapists and Luke and Tim to get him where he's at today has been incredible.
Back here in the back.
Jack McGonigal, Mav Radio. With the position that you're in, how big is it to get an extra day of rest? You're not, you don't have 1 day of rest, but you have 2 days now of rest, and you're not playing till Wednesday.
It's kind of funny you say that. I can remember talking to Clayton Kershaw, and he'd tell me, "Hey, call me at 6 o'clock in the morning." I'm like, "What? What do you mean, call you at 6 o'clock in the morning?" He said the adrenaline that he pitched in a game, just one game, would keep him up. And he went to bed, like 7, 8 o'clock to settle him down. And that's what is important for those guys to get their rest is very important because the adrenaline in that game right there, it'll keep them up whether they like it or not. And it's all the things that we talk on our wagon wheel of success is one's nutrition, one's sleep, one's water, one's lifting weights, and then getting them out of the hotel and doing a little exercises, whether it's taking BP or whatever we're going to do. Just try to get those guys grounded and together because they're going. It's like if you have a box full of BBs and you just throw them this time of year, and all of a sudden they just go everywhere when you're here. And so you just got to bring them back together and really do a wellness check every time. And that's what Ryan Gaines, our operations guy, is the best in the business at. He brings all those BBs together and all the support that he has from Greg Tipton to Kendall Mayer to our whole staff, and putting those guys together and trying to keep those guys grounded day in and day out.
Okay, this will be our last question for Skip.
Alec Lewis, The Athletic. I'm curious, Kate talked about the slider development. How impressive is it to you that a guy could develop that type quality of pitch as in the time frame that he has?
Well, when you see the good ones, what's your name? Alec. When you see the good ones, I apologize. I'm 80% deaf, so I'm a D student too. So when you see a guy with that ability and those guys can pick them up really quick. The frustrating thing is they start trying too hard and try to make guys swing and miss. And you see the culture of our team. I mean, Ben's been down there. I taught him how to throw a slider, and when you see your teammates teaching each other and not really caring what the outcome of it is, but they're really teaching each other. That's when you really got a great culture. And sometimes it gets out of hand. I mean, they'll get mad at each other too, which is great. We're all brothers. We get mad at each other. So I think that's great. I think he with his ability, I think he could pick it up really fast. It's no different than watching a big leaguer, how quick they can pick stuff up. And I'm not saying that he's a big leaguer by no means, but he'll have that opportunity one day.
Okay, Skip, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
See you Wednesday. Take a day off.